Tonight, Mr. Robert Mitchum stars in Young Man of Manhattan from Studio One at CBS.
There are two things I've been needing, a pat on the back and a kick in the pants. And I got both of them at once. Now I'm all set. I can get busy.
With a moment from Young Man of Manhattan by Catherine Brush, we invite you to Studio One, a full hour of dramatic entertainment from radio's most celebrated playhouse. And now to introduce tonight's great story, here is the director of Studio One, Fletcher Markle.
Tonight, a happily remembered bestseller of yesterday. A vivid Catherine Brush novel about the tumbling and tempestuous 20s, arranged for radio by Van Woodward. And to bring our whirling young man of Manhattan to life for you in the next hour, we have with us a remarkable young man of Hollywood, Mr. Robert Mitchum. Currently providing moviegoers with much excitement in the motion picture Crossfire, and soon to offer another exciting performance in the new RKO thriller Out of the Past, Mr. Mitchum is a welcome and warmly appreciated visiting star in Studio One. Tonight he plays a sports writer named Toby McLean. And as the women in Toby's life, you'll be hearing Mercedes McCambridge and Ann Burr of our regular company. Now let's turn back 20 years to the time when, for the young, life was sport and sports were life. The dazzling days of flappers and raccoon coats and speakeasies. And let's meet our young man of Manhattan. You've seen him perhaps where the bands are playing and the pennants flying and the people cheering. At a football game, while you leap up to howl and wave your arms, he sits in the press box high above you, saying quietly out of the side of his mouth to his telegrapher,
Adams made 5 yards off tackle. First down, Yale's ball.
When the game is finally ended and you go your way, he removes the cover from his portable typewriter, twists paper in, and writes,
New Haven, Connecticut, November 25th.
And then he really goes to work. When you go home from the fights or the hockey game or the boat race, you leave him behind in the dawn of his business day. He is a sports writer. His name is Legion, but his name in our story of yesterday is Toby McLean of the New York Star. And that story begins in Philadelphia on one of the most famous rainy nights in sport history. The night in 1926 when Tunney first beat Dempsey, and after the fights...
Taxi! Taxi! Fat chance of anybody getting a taxi.
Toby! Hey, McLean, that you?
In a diluted form, yeah. Hiya, Shorty.
File your story already?
I dictated the blow-by-blow. Hastings is doing the lead.
What a fight. What a night. Hey, what do you think you get a ride back to town in one of these cars?
Not a chance. They're all bulging now. We better start walking. Well, what'd you think of the fight?
Well, I tell you, if Dempsey had only... Wait a minute. There's a girl I know. Ann! Ann!
Somebody calling me? Why, Shorty Ross. Oh, isn't this terrible, Shorty?
Are you alone?
Very.
Ann, you know Toby McLean, don't you?
No, I don't. I've heard of him, though. Hello, Toby McLean.
How are you?
I could die. How are you?
This is little Ann Vaughan, Toby. If you read the Chronicle press, you
He
know...
doesn't, I can tell. Look at me. Oh, please.
Hey, we can't have this happening to you, Ann. Have to get you into one of these cars.
Well, laps have been offered, but I declined them. Only ride on strange men's laps in the subways.
Hey, look, Shorty, we can't all walk 3 abreast on the highway here. Now, look, I'll take care of Ann, and you walk behind and try to flag us a ride, huh? Make yourself useful. Come on, Ann.
Who saw her first? Hey, Toby!
A born leader of men.
Women. So you're Ann Vaughan. I know you. You do a movie column.
And you're sports.
I didn't know movie columnists were beautiful, though. What color's your hair?
It's brown.
Can't make out in this cloudburst.
Oh, it's cut awfully short, that's why.
What's a movie columnist doing at the fight? Dempsey's wife wasn't there, was she? Estelle Taylor?
You can't have a big fight without a trainload from Hollywood. I'm doing a personality story if I ever find a dry spot in a typewriter.
Well, haven't you got a room at the hotel?
No, couldn't get a reservation.
Well, why don't you come over to my room? Oh, now get me straight. I'll move down the hall and double up with Shorty. No trouble at all.
Well, if you're sure. How much farther is it into town, do you know?
Well, I'll ask.
No, don't. Let's just keep thinking. It isn't far.
Poor kid, you're miserable, aren't you?
I could use a hot bath.
And an open fire?
And a steak?
And a highball this high.
Yeah. That's one of the things I heard.
Heard?
About you, I mean.
What, that I like a good time now and then?
Oh, no, not exactly. Doesn't matter anyhow.
Tell me what they said. Please tell me.
I've forgotten, Toby.
Said I drank too much, was that it?
We're not going to fight, are we? I'm sorry I mentioned
But what did they say?
Oh, something about it being too bad.
Listen, Ann. The point is, you've got me all wrong. I'm no newspaper lush, honestly.
Well, it doesn't matter.
But I want it to matter, Ann. All of a sudden, I want it to matter to you.
Toby, you're crazy.
Hey, what are you two stopping for? Something wrong?
Oh, no, not a thing, Shorty. You just keep on watching for cars. I mean, Ann's got to get back to town. She's got a deadline to make.
Who is it?
It's young Mr. McLean, the eminent journalist.
Just a minute.
Hello.
Oh.
Brought you some coffee to spur you on.
Oh, Toby, you're wonderful. Thanks ever so much. Are you sure you don't mind my taking your room like this?
Mind? I'm honored. How's the story coming?
All right. We finished in a jiff.
Mind if I read what you've written?
Oh, it's not too hot, but read copy on it, will you, Toby? Please see if I spelled separate right. I never do.
Say, this is swell. Swell stuff, Ann. You know, it hurts a little to find out you can write so well. Better than I can.
That's an odd remark.
It's true, though. Other people's good stuff makes me feel kind of ashamed. It reminds me I'm not getting on well with my own literary affairs. True, though. Other people's...
For yourself, do you, son?
I'll tell you about me, Liddy. I'm not getting on well with my own little literary affairs. Someplace where there's music and dance.
Oh, sounds slightly wonderful.
We'll talk about you. Then later on about me. Regular boy gets acquainted with new girl stuff. So now you know all about Toby McLean, age 27, newspaper guy from Manhattan, recently acquainted with a startlingly wonderful girl named Ann Vaughn.
A fascinating fella. And I've told you all about me.
Fascinating wench. What about love?
Do I believe in it? I do.
Well spoken of. Ever been in love?
Once,
What happened?
nothing. The boat got to Cherbourg. How about you?
I think so.
What do you think so?
Think maybe I'm in love.
Something recent?
Very.
Oh,
Say something?
I said, oh.
Oh. Is it 2 hours, 2 days, 2 years?
Speaking of what and whom?
You and me?
Why?
You know what, Ann? When I read your copy, I was jealous, and I was proud at the same time. When I danced with you, I said to myself, Toby, you're lazy and you throw your money around. You go to too many speakeasies. Toby, still me talking to me, you ought to be married to a nice girl.
Interesting conversation.
You know any nice girls? I go on. One, I answer back. Ann, will you marry me? Of course, I suppose I'd make the world's worst husband.
Oh, unquestionably.
Oh, now why would I? I'd make a darn good husband now I think of it. Because, look, I'm obviously remarkably good-natured, not offensive or domineering. I wouldn't try to run your life for you. I believe in individuals, Ann. You're one, and I'd respect that. All I'd ask of you would be to live where I lived and smile at me sometimes and let me buy your little shoes and typewriter ribbons.
And put the ribbons on for me because I hate to so.
We'd work together, do magazine stuff. I'd start that novel I've always been planning to write. Eventually we'll go places, see things, Italy, Spain. And home would be a studio apartment full of books and firelight in the winter and
Go on, Toby. Tell me more.